Do it.
Okay. Welcome back to a very Crumple podcast part 2. We've had
With very crumple people.
we are very crumpled people who don't know how to use this. Meaning
It's
I
only
don't know how
part
to use it. Context, this is our second attempt trying to record. For some reason Emmy's voice kept cutting out. Mine was perfectly fine, but Emmy's kept cutting out, and I feel like we were the same volume.
I don't know. I feel like you're a little bit more aggressive of a human being than I am, so you definitely were talking louder.
Yeah, I'm pretty violent as a person. I strike first, ask questions later. That's like my defining personality trait. I'm going to look back and see if there's voice waves. So it's recording something.
Okay.
So at the end, it only hears me or only hears you. This is just an experience for us.
Okay. I mean, you heard it cutting out before. Do you hear it cutting out now in your ear?
Well, the other thing I was using is a lot louder. So it's like, say something for me?
No, I will never speak to you again.
Oh, God, I wish that was true. Just kidding. Lover, I guess. So I do actually hear you still. It's just so much nicer than the other thing I've been using that it, like, fits better, you know?
Okay, whatever you think.
Aren't you guys super interested by us just figuring this out on air?
It's okay. So we're only on part 2.
So welcome back to a Crumple podcast, hosted by some very crumpled people. You haven't missed much. This is, 3 days after we recorded the other one? No, it's been a while. It's been
like a week.
It's been a week. Okay.
It's gotta have been like a week, right?
How have you been? We actually legitimately haven't had a lot of time to hang out since we recorded the last one.
Yeah. No, I mean, you've been doing school and I've been working.
It's true.
Nothing new, nothing special.
Just work.
Yeah, working on my portfolio.
You want to talk about that?
No, just working on it.
Okay. I don't want to delve into too much until you're prepared to talk about whatever your endeavors you've got going on. We'll make it sound like super sophisticated.
I mean, I'm prepared to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I don't care.
Well, see, that's the fun part of it is if it's your business, you get to tell me if we're talking about it or not.
Okay. Well, I'm working on my portfolio, and that's all I get to know at the moment.
Ooh. Mysterious.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. For a second there, I thought you cut off for a second, so I had a panic attack, but we're going to ignore it. We're going to power through it.
Cool. We're good.
I have a story for you that I forgot to tell you about.
Okay.
It's 20-second story.
Okay.
Your
stories are never 20 seconds.
Yeah, no. I was leaving the gas station, okay? And I know last time we talked about how we grew up. We did both grow up in hick-related places, just different parts of the planet.
Different parts of the country, not planet.
Which is still different parts of the planet. It's not like it's not different planets.
Okay.
Like you didn't grow up on Mars.
They don't know that.
That's true. Guys, she grew up on. I have a Mars girlfriend.
Okay, continue.
That's
a
what
Martian.
I call her. Damn, was that a racist? Did I just pull a racism right there?
I don't know. Did you?
A Mars person, guys. Okay. Hold on. I gotta. Can we take a side note?
Stories never take 20 seconds.
So I gotta take a second and apologize to all my Martians. I was blind and ignorant, and I have learned, and I will do better. We're all growing, and
trying not to be a interplanetary racist. It's fine.
Well, I am, and I'm human, so
not Martian.
We make mistakes, exactly, and we'll grow.
Okay.
Okay, now that I have that in the bank, in case I need it.
Of course, 20-second story.
Right. It's probably been like 3 minutes.
Yeah, continue.
Cat, quit eating the cords. Go away. Person. I was at a gas station.
Yep.
Okay. Getting gas. Gas prices are high. Whoa. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
I'm sitting in my car, and the way it's positioned is I just got gas.
Mm-hmm.
I am sitting in my car on my phone.
That's why his stories don't take 20 minutes.
Well, I was making sure my facts are right. The dog is playing with a squeak toy that I can hear in the microphone. We are not playing. I'm going to have to put the dog out. We have our dog out here. In our first recording, we talked about how he's out here, and he's usually very loud.
He's being a very good boy and laying down, and now he's going to walk around and play with all his squeak toys. And that's not good for recording. So
I might put Emmy on the spot and make her entertain you guys while I go put him.
There's no way that's going to happen. There's no way that I can continuously talk to myself for a solid minute while you put the dog up.
I think you underestimate the power you hold.
Do you want me to put you on the spot so you could mindlessly tell your story without me here listening, and then I'll pick the dog up?
I mean, I can pause the story.
I know. Do you want to entertain them while I go pick the dog up?
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Power Hour of just Jacob talking to himself. You haven't missed much. I have a super interesting story I'm going to tell Emmy, but okay, she's out of the room, guys. It's super not interesting at all. It's about a horrible couple in a gas station, and that's it. That's it. I want to make it sound super interesting, and I'm probably going to cut this part out. I'm in my PJs today. I had to take a big exam, and I feel pretty good about it. There's a couple questions I know for sure I got wrong, but there's a couple questions I know for sure I got right. This a-hole, he finished in 10 minutes, and he left, and the teacher was like, I guess I made the exam too short, and then while he was leaving, he like looked at the instructor, and he was like, yeah, you did, and then left. So like now all of us are back here struggling, and he's like, okay, I have to make it harder, which was so dumb. But besides that, I finished, and
I'm back.
And made it back. And Emmy's back. So I was at a gas station, okay?
Okay. And you were sitting in your car in a specific direction.
It was angled at the front doors of the gas station.
Okay.
There's this couple.
Okay.
They are leaving the gas station.
Okay.
One is a woman, one is a man.
Okay.
The woman is very much pregnant.
Okay.
I would say she doesn't have much longer, maybe a month, 2 months before this baby's coming out. So she was pregnant, okay? Preggers. This man, okay, it was very windy outside.
Yes, it was like a friggin' hurricane here the other day.
Yes, so he was trying to light
oh God,
a cigarette. Okay.
How did he catch the woman on fire?
So, how did you know this story? Did you read about this? So he's trying to light a cigarette, right? And he can't get the lighter to turn on because the wind just keeps pushing it out, right?
Yeah, of course.
So naturally, he bends down and turns to the human wall that is his pregnant wife. I won't assume. Pregnant partner. Counterpart, and uses her pregnant tummy
as a human shield,
as a windshield, to light a cigarette.
That sounds like a great plan on his part.
And then he proceeds. He gets this. It's a victory because he gets it lit. So
okay, cool.
We all win at the end of the day.
Of course.
He straightens up his back, takes a big puff, and I didn't hear what he said, but he got really close to her face, and I assume goes, "Thanks, you baby," and kisses her lips while blowing out smoke.
Yeah.
He
baby
inhale,
just breathing in all those fumes.
Thank you, baby. Kiss.
Yeah. Yep. That's ridiculous.
And that's like an everyday thing.
Do you think he forgot she was pregnant for like a little bit? I mean, it's not early in the pregnancy, obviously. Like you've been going through this for a few months. You should know.
I don't know. I think
that you shouldn't do that to a preggers lady.
I would honestly believe if he didn't know that being pregnant was like different.
Oh, like it's one of those things that like you think he did it on purpose in the sense that he just didn't realize that was faux pas, like that you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, like that would be hurtful to the child. He's just like, I'm smoking and now I'm going to thank the woman with a smooch.
And if she didn't turn away from him in that situation, then she obviously also does not care or know better.
It made me very sad. But at the same time, where we are living currently, that is not a surprise at all.
Yeah, very, very common.
I literally saw that happen and I was like, God, I hate us as a people.
Yeah. Yeah, us Martians, we're really bad about all that hick shit.
I'm not a Martian. You're the Martian. Are you shitting on your own people right now? I mean, that's fine. You're allowed to.
You're just shitting on your people.
I'm a white male, and we are notoriously great people. So we've done nothing but good.
Uh-huh.
Especially.
You're going to get so much backlash for that.
What do you mean? I just speaking truth.
You're right. My bad.
Name one bad thing.
Stop. You can't even finish that statement.
Okay, sorry.
Everyone who watches us and loves us, just comment at the bottom all the shit that white men have done.
Don't do that. Don't invite that.
Well,
I want this to be.
You started this.
As a jape.
You started this.
White people suck. It's true. I mean, we're not great, but we're getting better.
Are we, though?
Compared to a couple years ago? We're not good, but we're getting better comparatively.
Sure.
Let's not turn this into that. Let's move on.
Yep.
I don't even know if I'm going to keep the spiel where I was by myself because there's no way that was interesting. But it was fun. I was talking about the test I took today.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good story.
Yeah, that's super fascinating.
I mean, it's not like it was more than a few seconds, few minutes, a minute.
Few seconds, a minute, 3 hours, 17 days, 4 seconds. So I have a prompt, but I forgot to set a timer to see how long they've been talking. But I guess there's a primer on the primer.
Yeah, would there not be a primer on the recording?
I guess there's a timer. We're already 10 minutes in. That's crazy.
That's not not bad though.
No, right? I mean I'm having fun.
Didn't you wanted to do a spiel before the spiel every time?
Please don't wrap the cord around your foot. That makes me very nervous.
I'm not.
As she continues to play with the cord with her foot. She has I almost said she has Walmart socks on.
Nope.
Not the case. She has watermelon socks on.
They might be from Walmart. I actually don't know. But they are watermelon socks.
I'm actually notorious for wearing fun socks.
Me too. We both wear fun socks.
Sure, whatever, curls, yeah. And she actually, I would say she has a better sock game than I do right now. I'm just wearing some gray socks with like a pattern on them.
Yeah, he's got
fancy.
like some geometric nonsense, and mine are watermelon.
Okay, relax. Geometry is fun and hip and cool.
Don't let him convince you of
that. Do you have... So, I feel like I've been hogging the beginning of this. Do you have something to share with us today before I jump into the prompt?
No, we're already like 10 minutes in. Let's do this prompt shit.
Oh. So I figured I have a couple on my phone. These ones are even older than the super good one I read last time. Mm-hmm. And they're on my notes, and I definitely had them pulled up, and I'm not scrambling for them right now.
So. Also has a bunch of prompts that he's prepared for the podcast that he's so excited about that he doesn't know where any of them are.
I have one more. That's relax. So. I have one more thing I'd like to point out, actually. I have this thing called podcast notes.
That's cute.
It is just like things that I saw that I wanted to talk about.
He literally has one sentence there right now. His note, it's one sentence.
Okay, there's this thing. We just kind of have to have
this
level of comfort where you don't just shit on me in front of everybody when I...
But they can't see.
Yeah.
So... Logically, you should tell them about how beautiful I am today, and I'm going to tell them about how you have one sentence in your podcast notes.
Yeah, that evens out. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Emmy did her makeup today. She went very, very... would be hard a good word for it? She worked really hard on it?
No. Yes, sure.
She went hard on the makeup game today. She looks very good. She got some pictures taken today for her portfolio. She looks amazing. And do you feel good?
Yeah.
You should. You look great.
Thank you.
Now that you're done shitting on me, and I've done nothing but greatness for you.
You're welcome. Continue.
I can still continue to not find my prompts.
Wait, well, you were telling me about your podcast note. You didn't tell me about it.
Oh, shit. My bad, guys.
He literally clicked off of it.
Yeah,
it was one sentence. How do you even forget what you were going to say?
So,
it was one sentence.
As we know, I zoned you out. Are you just shit-talking me some more?
Yeah, continue.
So, as you know, I am... Let's try that again.
Okay.
Hand sanitizer has been a lot more prevalent. That's the turn we're taking right now.
I was not expecting that.
This is how I introduced my hand sanitizer company?
Yeah, I was not expecting that. Continue.
But, so people have been using it a lot more.
Okay.
It's always been used.
Yes.
But it's been a lot more prevalent.
Correct.
I'm convinced that
We're in 2022.
Right.
Continue.
I guess you could date it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm convinced people do not know the appropriate amount of hand sanitizer to use for, like, a hand.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
It's either too little and you don't cover the full surface.
Or way too much.
Or it's a literal river and they slap it around and it gets all over the floor.
Yeah.
And this just happened last time I was at work.
Okay.
Because we have hand sanitizer stuff for when they leave. Okay, when I work at a...
Gym.
Yes, I work at a gym. I couldn't decide if I wanted to tell you that or not, but it doesn't matter.
You said what gym you
work
at.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not like I told them that I work at Arnold Fitness Classic in Tennessee.
Yeah, of course.
Imagine if that was a gym. I don't live in Tennessee.
Everyone would just be like, "Oh, I know that gym."
Yeah. Oh, but so it's this one person was leaving, and they were just giving their good old like, "Haha, have a good day, whatever." And it's a tub one. So it's not like you just like lean it over and put it in your hand. It's like it's got a squirter. It's
a squirter, yeah.
Like you know?
Yeah.
Like when you're putting ketchup on a hot dog at a baseball game.
Yep.
You don't like that noise?
No, I don't. Continue.
Oh, I'm tempted. Anyways, so it's one of those things. And I would say like
got like a pump.
My judgment, half a pump, perfect. Maybe 3/4 a pump.
Okay.
Is all you need.
Okay.
I have pretty average sized hands, I feel.
Yeah.
Not too small, not huge. They're not mittens.
Yeah.
You know? This man, double pumps.
No.
Double pumps.
Okay.
First pump.
Yeah.
First pump, cups his hand to catch it.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Of course.
Second pump, doesn't move. The pump has backlash. Spills onto the desk.
Seriously?
And he doesn't rub his hands together. He claps his hands
He
together.
like
Slaps them.
So you're literally getting rid of all the excess and also not even rubbing it in.
He maybe used 20% of the hand sanitizer that he got.
Also, if you're going to be a clapper, just do like half a pump.
Half
do like
a pump.
a fourth of a pump. Do less.
You know your power.
Then more
like,
if you're going to clap them.
Right, because you're going to make a mess. And you know you're going to make a mess.
Yeah.
So you can reduce the mess.
Yeah.
And reduce the pumps, bro.
Yeah. I understand that most places don't have the big gallon ones. So in my mind, based on, because you have the automatic ones that you like stick your hand under, and it comes out itself. So in my mind, that's the appropriate amount because you have decided, the machine, whatever who made it, decided that that's the appropriate amount.
The hand sanitizer gods.
Yes.
These are what you
decided
need,
that that's the appropriate amount. Yeah. And then even the pump ones, when you do the pump, it's like one pump would be the appropriate amount. Sometimes it's way too much, depending on how much the pump is.
Right, but that's the judge. It's
that's like the
your
judge.
first experience.
Yeah.
You see how much you get out of that first pump.
Exactly.
And you're like, I will adjust after this.
Exactly. Now, if it's a upside down dumper, then I mean, it's all up to you.
It's tricky, yeah.
You gotta do it.
But
too
much
power.
Pump.
There is no way in the world that you should do a 2 pump unless the thing is almost empty and your first pump didn't have barely anything come out.
You gotta get a double tap.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's no way that you should be doing a 2 pump.
No excuse. Especially if you lose 80% of it.
Or clapping them together.
And then he did.
How are you even putting the hand sanitizer on your hand if you're clapping them together? So the whole point is to spread it out.
Yeah.
Because it's what is it? Not acetone. It's Alcohol. Yeah. It's like rubbing alcohol is like what is in it, and rubbing alcohol evaporates in the air, which is why hand sanitizer is so nice. It's not supposed to keep your hands wet or anything like that.
A little science lesson.
Yeah. So you're supposed to spread it out so it's like a nice thin layer and it evaporates off your skin.
Kills
Clapping them together does absolutely nothing but throwing it everywhere.
That is the main goal. That's the problem we have here.
Yeah.
Not that there was too much. It's just the method.
Also, yeah. I mean, the amount was way too much, but I mean, that's his own stupidity.
But then
the clapping is the main part.
It gets better.
Oh, God, there's more?
Just a little bit. Bear with me. I know this is the most interesting story in the world.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
So as he's clapping,
oh, God.
Right, he claps in the middle of him saying bye. He looks down at the mess. We both, because I'm behind the desk, as I'm acknowledging that he's saying, as long as... I tried to power through it and I couldn't do it. As long as we both looked down, right, and then
see the mess.
We both acknowledged the mess, looked back up, and then he went, all right, see you later, and left.
Yep.
So we both had that moment of, I'm leaving a mess, and you're going to fucking clean it up there, champ.
Yep.
And then left.
Yep.
And I took it like a bitch.
Yeah.
Because, I'm going to clean that up.
Yeah,
obviously. That is my job.
Okay, at least in that situation, it is hand sanitizer, which is clean.
Not like a Gatorade or something.
Yes, exactly. We have dogs literally pee on the ground, and people look at us and then
She's
walk away.
She's a dog groomer, by the way. She doesn't like kidnap dogs for fun.
I do kidnap dogs for fun, but I'm also a dog groomer.
This problem is unrelated to the kidnapping part.
Yeah. Yeah. So they literally pee on the ground, and then the person just like walks away.
Right.
And like
just la la la.
It's in a store. Like there's not like little pee areas or anything. Yeah. Like it's literally just on the floor.
And you have like white tiled flooring.
Yes.
So you're like, there's a yellow puddle here.
Dogs like poop too, and that's
Good.
like dirty.
Good.
It's not like hand sanitizer that's just like clean that you can just like wipe off and it like is a relatively clean
Right.
area.
Like it's already sort of clean. It's just like not sticky now.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, piss is a problem. That's what I always say.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's my motto too.
Yeah. You have a big sign on the store.
Yeah.
Piss is a problem. Shit, I was going to say something else about...
That's okay. I think we've delved into that.
I think we've talked enough about hand sanitizer. No, pre-workout. You know what pre-workout is?
Like the stuff you drink?
Like the powder you put in a drink? If I would say 70% of the people that use pre-workout don't know how pre-workout works. Because I have to go to the bathrooms and clean it up almost every single day.
What do? You think they're snorting it or something?
I think that they think that they have to put the whole tub in the cup and then they miss 30% of it. And there's just like, it's literally
everywhere.
Like a mat of white powder.
I will admit that pre-workout and protein powder and things like that, it's like one scoop added to milk, water, whatever you're adding it to. But like the one scoop that they give you, like the scoop in the container, is like the biggest fucking scoop in the world.
Well, that's protein because some pre-workouts... The pre-workouts have smaller ones depending on the type it is.
But you know what I mean.
I do know
They're
what you
literally
mean.
like one scoop, and you're like, okay, cool. And then it's
Right.
like, holy shit, I did not leave enough space in my
Right.
water bottle.
But it's
I'm going
not-
to pour this shit everywhere.
It would be more excusable if it was more like they left a pile, and it's like, oh, they missed, and they're lazy, and they left.
Yeah.
It'll be spread everywhere. Like you could see that somebody got a wet paper towel
And tried to wipe it.
but
But they're a male human being, so they just failed miserably.
Absolutely. And then it becomes a white paste, and then they leave.
Ew.
So it's just like,
Just leave the little pile.
how do you... Because you have to get up to get a paper towel, so it's not like it
Yeah.
was convenient
Yeah, exactly.
to like try to clean it.
Well, and it's like you got up, you got the paper towel, you wet the paper towel, you brought it back over, wiped it up, realized it didn't do anything,
then just
and then
bounced.
decided you were going to bounce.
So dumb, dude.
Yeah, that's the male species for you. We don't have those on Mars.
Hey, all I'm saying is I've seen some messes in the women's room. Okay.
Well,
Species? Male species as opposed to the female species?
Yeah.
Is that the appropriate term?
probably not. But I'm talking about Martians, so it's fine.
Oh,
I can say
shit,
whatever
my
I
bad.
want.
My fault. Yeah, you Martians stink. Dang. Clean your shit. All right, I actually found the prompts. I had them for a while now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, or 3. Pick one.
I don't care.
Okay, 2
I
it
was about to say, what was a good one we did?
is. Full
How
disclosure.
long has it been at this point before we start the prompt?
So we did this prompt a while ago. Okay, you want to talk about why we're doing this?
What do you mean? Didn't we explain why we did the prompts last
Where
time?
we got the idea from? Like even to be here to talk to each other.
Yeah, we said it on the first podcast.
Oh, where we got the idea from?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, the road trip and that stuff.
I don't think we talked about that at all.
Okay, well, go into it.
Okay, I'll delete it if we did.
Yeah, if you heard it already, you're going to hear it again because we like boring you. It's our job.
It's true. Just leave. I don't care. If you don't want to hear it, leave.
Please don't,
Oh God, please.
please don't leave.
So we go on road trips. Well, we used to go on road trips a lot more often.
I mean, I have family far away. He has a little bit of family farther away. We drive on
Right.
occasion, so
I do drive on occasion.
road trips.
And we're not much of a chill and listen to music type of people. I am on my own,
occasion, yeah.
and she is on her own. But we don't get a lot of time alone, you know? So whenever we're on a road trip, we want to make the most of it and catch up and talk and shoot the shit. I thought of this fun thing. I'm going to take full
Because
credit
we're
for
both
it.
very creative people.
We
But
like,
he-
yeah, we
yes,
we
he
like
did
to
please take credit for it because it was a great idea and it was all you.
we like to just talk about stuff and like movie theories and TV show theories, and she'll tell me about books she's reading because I don't fucking read.
Moon Knight just came out.
Oh, I'm so hyped for that. It's on.
Disney Plus.
Yes, it is.
Continue.
Oh, I'm so psyched. Okay. So what I did is I came up with little prompts, that are like the one I read yesterday, except better,
Mm-hmm.
and we would just talk about them. And that lasted us. What did we? What was our last trip? Like a 5-hour trip or something?
No, it was when we went to your family in up north. So
Good
it
save.
was like 2 hours, maybe.
Yeah, it was. And that bitch felt like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. And I thought that it would be cool to record this experience and share it and see how it goes. And so then, like, 3 months later, here we are.
Yeah.
Because we had lives. And it couldn't just happen immediately.
Yep. We had to get shit because
Every
things cost money.
Yep, every piece of equipment we're using, I bought one at a time, once every paycheck. So that's like
And I helped a little bit.
6 or 7. Absolutely, yes. And that is 6 or 7 paychecks, I think. So that's 14 weeks.
We don't really have super fancy high-tech shit. That he's making it sound like it's super expensive. It's
No,
just
no,
that we
yeah.
also have other bills. And
No,
things
no.
to pay
I'm just
for.
talking about like a single microphone that's only like $30.
Yeah.
I would buy and then wait the next 2 weeks,
Yeah.
buy the next microphone. Just because we don't
And
have.
we just had stuff to do.
Yeah, we had a life. So I want to get started.
Okay.
This one does not have a title, sadly.
That's fine.
But we got
The other title was so amazing that I'm surprised you didn't title it.
It's true. That's what I'm going to title the first episode, is the title of what I named it.
Okay.
What did I name it?
I don't remember.
The boy with the bracelets or something?
Yeah.
The
it
boy
was,
with the golden...
It was super
The girl with the dragon tattoo?
straightforward. Yeah, that.
That one? God, please don't sue me. I'm so sorry. Okay. So I'm sure we can find an appropriate title.
Yeah,
after we're
no.
done.
I mean, I think we're going to have to title it based on what we talk about and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
And here we go. You've always believed that it wasn't fair to jump to label something as a monster when working with creatures who are misunderstood or unknown. That mindset, with your investigative background and expertise in most things supernatural, is exactly why you were recruited by the agency. You don't know much about them, but you know that they have hired you for the following task. Many cryptids along the southern border between USA and Mexico have fallen ill to a deadly virus. So far, all we know is that the creatures first lose their appetite, followed by decolorations of their eyes, leading to the complete immobilization, then death. You know of a few things that cause each individual symptom, but will need to see more up close to get a valid assessment and go from there. The agency has a chupacabra hospitalized in an undisclosed location close by and would like for you to start there. Very different from the last one.
Yeah, and we did this for our road trip, so we were kind of nervous about doing them again, but in reality, I don't really remember them. So I think we waited more than enough time to be able to do it again, you know? Yeah, so we played a board game that has to do with cryptids and stuff like that, and got the ideas flying. No, you can keep it over there. I just opened it for you.
I'm moving my drink around, and I moved it to a table where she's resting her feet, and it's making me nervous. So I'm gonna move it back.
Don't put it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really got the gears grinding for Chupacabra and stuff like
It
that.
did. We were really in that mood that day.
Yeah. Very cool cryptids, because I mean, in reality, cryptids are literally mythology, except for it hasn't been hundreds of thousands of years have passed yet. So
Right.
people are still kind of like, well, are they real or
Right.
not?
Exactly.
You know, which is very cool.
It is very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that this story could be a way to introduce any new supernatural being you can think of. Like, this can introduce anything you want. You can make it a play on something that already exists and do your own take on an alien species. Like, it doesn't, just because you start with a chupacabra doesn't mean you have to
make it cryptids that people know about.
Exactly. You can make your own world.
It could, yeah, that would be very cool. It also you could take really old mythology from a bunch of different countries
like
and
you don't
nations
think people
and things.
would probably not know about.
Yeah, things that people have never heard about unless that's like your thing, kind of, and like recreate them into today's modern society. And it's like a whole new original idea, but at the same time has like a basis. And people that like are nerds about mythology, like I am, will probably be like, oh shit, I've heard of that before, or like, you know,
exactly.
that sounds familiar, or something like that. Very cool.
It'd also be cool because you get to, if you're like writing, I'm in the mindset of like, this is going to be a prompt you're writing for a book, right? So like, what can you do with this? Maybe not so much as like the literal story elements, but this is our podcast and this is what we want to do. So shut up and enjoy it. And also, I don't think I said this last time, but if you guys have other ideas about the prompt,
we'd love to hear them. Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
So much fun.
That's why we're doing this for the most part.
Because I want it to be a creative community.
Inspiration.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it was one little idea, is like, I think it would be cooler if the color of this thing you're talking about would be different because of this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just get the juices flowing.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
us and for you.
That's what we want to just like.
I am an artist, and I have a hard time finding inspiration.
Yes.
Not necessarily inspiration, but talking out inspiration.
Yes.
Because a lot of things will inspire me, and I'm like, yeah, but now I don't know what to do with that inspiration or that feeling, you know?
Yes.
And, you know, a lot of people are probably in the same boat. So I feel like us talking about these kinds of things might just get the juices flowing for you in a way that other inspiration just doesn't quite hit the mark.
Absolutely. Maybe there's a story of your own that you want to write, and you just aren't in the mood, but you want to be in the mood.
Yeah.
You're like, damn it. Why am I not in the mood?
Exactly.
We want to help you get the gears a grinding.
Yeah.
Even if it's not at all related to what we're talking about, we just want you to.
It might just get the gears flowing, yeah.
Maybe you need the distraction for a second. We were talking about the tip of the tongue.
Tip of the tongue phenomenon
a little earlier today.
Yeah.
About how like you're so close to an idea, and the more you focus on it, the farther it gets from you. So that's why you need to change your perspective
or
like
your something else.
your focus.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for, baby. Distraction.
But yeah, I think it's cool too. It's almost a different approach because you know you have shows like Supernatural and things like that. That do kind of the whole cop hunter-esque detective-y thing,
like investigation-y.
with like mythical creatures. Like there is a thing and it has been done, but one, it's one of those things that never gets old. And two, it's almost a different take because it's not we're going around and killing everything until we figure out that things actually can be good and moving on from there. It's like going into it being like, these are creatures and we want to learn as much as we can about them. And in a way like animals that we don't know about. You know, you're not
Right.
just going around shooting everything you see just because, you know. I feel like it's a different take. It's a more empathetic take, a more exploratory take. I feel like it could be a cool book and a cool metaphor for like showing that even the animals that we have in our world today, just because we don't know about them doesn't mean that we need to be fearful of them. And it's like a nice metaphor in a more supernaturally mythological sense to address things that go on in our world today, you know?
It's always fun to carry a message, even when you can have fun and do whatever you want to do, but Emmy's making noise over here like a child. Can't keep her hands to herself. I feel like I have to leave her in a corner where there's nothing but a chair and a microphone. Because she will play with literally anything she's given.
Yeah, except for my microphone has a wire.
That's
so
true. She's been trying to kick it around this whole time.
With the wire.
She's trying to kick off our set. But not to. I'm sorry, I got distracted.
No, but yeah, like I think it's nice for things to have a meaning because even if there are so many things out there, so many quote unquote fake things out there, all the Marvel movies, everything going on. And people watch them for fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of those things have meanings and hit us deeper in the heart. And even if you don't know that that's what it's doing, giving that to your story, to your artwork, to whatever, just gives it more meaning and will make it reach more people, even if they don't know why it's reaching them. Instead of just giving them a story.
It's that subconscious, like, pulling you in.
Exactly.
Like, why does this mean more than this other story? It's because the characters in the story just had a day.
Yeah.
But the other book, they learn something and they're growing as like a character or as a situation or like a family. You know?
Like just a straight up society, you know?
Another thing I really liked about this prompt is that so she's kind of like I don't know if coroner is the word, the person that like dissects things to like learn about them. Like in like a murder case or whatever. What are they called?
Yeah, I mean that would technically be the coroner at the morgue, you know?
I don't enjoy that word.
It has a negative connotation to it.
Does,
but like the person learning from the deceased.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's not a lot of shows with that as the main character, like what they go through in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because it's gross and not super exciting. I understand why there's not like a bunch of TV shows and why there's like all cop shows, you know? But I think taking the supernatural turn.
Yeah,
and
could make
having,
it interesting.
Yes,
more than
and being able to make up these complex anatomies that like the chupacabra is very famous, but you get to choose the anatomy. Maybe they have like this cool thing about them.
A lot of people have a chupacabra set up like a werewolf. Some people have them very humanoid.
Exactly.
Some people have them as a straight up alien creature that you have no idea what you're looking at. You know.
Exactly. So you can have fun with that.
Yeah.
And then you can use that as, like you can learn the discoloration of the saliva gland or whatever has led me to believe that blah blah blah. And you can use that stuff to like lead into other clues. And maybe I assume the doctor here is a she. I don't know if I clarified
I think you did
or
say
not.
she.
So she can be like, she doesn't have to be the most badass person in the world, but she has a big heart and she wants to do what she needs to do.
Yeah.
So her experience through these illed creatures. And she can also maybe run into a bunch of stuff she doesn't know about too, that she's learning, like we are learning with her, which can like give us the impression that like we are along this journey too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and if she's the like main character, protagonist, and she maybe like everyone else, you know, just wants to kill everything off or whatever, and she's the one that's like, no, I want to learn, I want to figure it out, whatever, then maybe she starts off as a coroner or whatever and moves into going out into the field more so that she can, you know, see and experience the creatures while they're still alive and living. Maybe she knows a lot more about them
like
and their species.
Part of her growth.
So she's able to like communicate with them or whatever, and turn them into something that's a lot more can connect with us than just these monsters that are dying and moving on from there, you know, and how else can we kill them or whatever. They actually become a species or a race that
something
is,
we can put our heart into.
Yeah, exactly. Something that has like human emotions and doesn't just run around killing because it wants to.
Personify it.
Personify. That's the word I want. Yeah.
I was trying to think of it too.
Yeah.
Just to give they're not just some creature that's dying. They're something that somebody has cared about.
Exactly.
There's somebody's child.
Yeah,
you know?
taking what we do with vampires and werewolves all the time and
trying to make them all hot and
applying
sparkly.
it to different creatures and different mythologies and things like that. Yeah.
Were you Team Jacob or Team Edward, kid?
As a kid? I'm pretty sure I was Team Jacob because I've always been an animal person, so I've always liked
You just like that he was a wolf?
more. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
a
I
wolf.
respect
I
that.
like that.
I was Team Edward by default.
You were Team Edward?
I was, because my name is Jacob, and they're like, ha ha ha, like from Twilight.
Oh, God. So you had to be Team Edward, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
But
I hope you
literally
understand I
by,
have to
like, the
hate you
first
now.
or second movie, like, the whole Team Edward, Team Jacob thing, it's, like, literally by the first or second movie, she was, like, 100%
Decided.
Team Edward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not even like it was, like...
We got to think, there was a little gap between the releases, though.
I guess.
So that was, like, a couple of years.
They were books, though, too.
That's true. Well, I mean, you think the masses are going to read them?
My mom read them, I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's fine. And I don't say... I'm just saying the
He's
high
hating on my
schoolers
mom.
are not going to talk about... What are you saying?
He's hating on my mom.
I'm not hating on her. She just needs to be a better person.
No, but I think even with a gap between the movies, like the whole triangle, like yes, it was a big triangle for preteens, but
Yeah.
they didn't do it the right way because
No, I mean, of course not.
I mean, if they would have done it the right way or how they do it nowadays, it would really be like oh my God, who's it gonna
Like,
be?
I really don't know what she wants.
not just like who's your favorite.
Not
it's
just
like
let's throw another
who's
hot
it
guy
gonna
in the
be?
mix.
Yeah,
Just to be people be like, he would treat her so much better.
exactly, because literally she was with Edward from the get go.
Yeah.
Jacob was never even in the equation.
No. But hey, good looking guy.
Yeah.
Taylor Lautner has my heart.
Yeah, that's what I mean, they really did that. Poor Edward. Like he's a handsome man, but then
He's no Taylor Lautner.
They made him very pale for being
and
a
it's not-
vampire, and
it's
he was
not
a lot younger then.
Patterson. What's his name?
Huh?
Patterson.
Robert Pattinson.
Thank you, Robert Pattinson. It's not his fault. I don't think he's unattractive. I think that
No.
movie, just the way they did their vampires,
I
made him
agree.
like
They
sickly.
they really hated on vampires.
I
I really
know.
don't like
It was
the way
rough.
did
They gave him like the
vampires.
blush, like sparkle blush.
Yeah. Well, and they made them. I mean, vampires are pale in most things, but the way they did it, it was just not. I don't find out.
Yeah, I mean, of course, vampires are pale, but that was like,
yeah, they
we wanna
literally
be
were like,
different, and it
let's
did
take
not work
this
out well.
guy, any guy, and put him up against Taylor
Right.
Lautner. So everyone's going to choose Taylor Lautner. Yet we're not going to make her ever end up with him.
were the books also like preteen drugs, or were like
I don't remember.
adults kind of
I don't
really
know.
into it? Because I was
I think they were younger. I think they were
Okay.
younger than the movies.
So I was gonna say if my book audience were like 18 to 25,
yeah,
and that movie came out and drew in all of the 12 to 13-year-olds, I would
Mhm.
be pissed.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm not positive. I know a lot of books the cast tends to be a lot younger because you don't realize, like, people don't really consider the age as much when it's a book because you're not seeing the person, you
Mhm.
know. But then in a movie, you're obviously always looking at the age because
Mhm.
they look the age that they are, you know,
Mhm.
whatever. So a lot of movies will make the characters older so then they can have kissing scenes or things like that you wouldn't necessarily do with a younger audience.
Yeah, that's true.
So it just kind of depends. I don't remember. I don't think I read the books. I think my mom did.
Well, we both know I didn't read the books.
Yeah, you definitely did not.
Yeah, I don't even like reading signs.
Anything.
So
How far are we into this?
we're almost 40 minutes in.
Nice.
You good? You still with me?
Yeah, I was just
I'm
curious.
just having fun.
I'm sitting here being like, it's been 10 minutes or 2 hours. I have no clue, but I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I was just curious, you know?
I think also we can write, because we're going to write this book, obviously.
Of course.
If we're writing this book, we could leave it to where we're learning about the main character
Yeah.
the more we go on, too. Like, maybe she has a very supernatural past, but
Mhm.
she's just a human.
Yeah.
Or maybe, like,
Or
something
maybe
happened
you
where...
think she's a human the whole time and she
Yeah,
thinks she's a human
something
and there's
happens.
something in her bloodline
Right.
that gives her something else. You know, something
Mhm.
that she didn't know this whole time that she just passed off as weird fate, and in reality it's like something.
this illness only affects cryptids.
Yeah.
And so for some reason she keeps acting weird, hallucinating. She can't figure
Mhm.
out what's wrong. She thinks she's just going crazy from the case.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that
She's
the
a
illness
cryptid.
is also affecting her
Yeah.
because she's a cryptid.
Yeah.
Obviously, go ahead.
I was going to say, too, it's kind of crazy because cryptids are a weird case. I mean, I guess in mythology, too.
They're
'cause,
weird,
like,
but weird does not mean bad, okay? We love weird.
no, weird in the sense that, so you have, like, Greek mythology, and Zeus is obviously a singular individual. There are not multiple Zeus. But at the same time, there are nereids, which are, you know, a race or species, whatever you
I'm
prefer.
not aware of what this is.
Okay, like mermaids. You have mermaids, and
It's
it's
like
not
a sub-race?
Yeah, it's not. It's like it's sea folk nereids.
Okay.
It's like a Greek thing.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry for
No,
people
we're
that
learning.
don't know.
Yeah, we're learning.
Because I don't know everything either, and I don't know the best way to
I mean,
explain
if
it.
there's one thing you guys are going to learn from listening to us is we don't know a lot of
Yeah,
things.
so don't quote us on anything.
Yeah.
Because
Disclaimer,
this
we're
is
dumb.
from the brain, not from a book or anything. So I don't fully.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she's a woman, so you have to account for that.
Of course. So I'll kill him.
It's a joke.
So okay, so you have like a singular individual, and then you have things like mermaids, where it's not. I mean, you might have one well-known mermaid that is like a singular individual, but mermaids are like a species. There are multiple of them.
Yes.
Cryptids are weird in the sense that
They
are
singular.
known as being singular individuals. Like Bigfoot, people know of Bigfoot and think of it as a singular individual.
But
Chupacabra and things like that are also the same thing. But in reality, people don't know. There could be a race of them, a family of them, just like vampires, just like werewolves. Maybe it's a disease or something that can be passed down genetically. Like, yeah, that we have
I have an idea. Continue.
We have no actual idea, and it kind of just depends on how you decide to interpret it, you know. And if we were to write this book or something, maybe Bigfoot happens to be one and only, but Chupacabra, there's multiple of them, you know. You never really know. And I think cryptids, people have a hard time with them sometimes because they are considered as singular individuals, when in reality it's a great premise for making a whole species of creatures or something, or a whole race, you know.
I think it would actually be the idea I had would be if we start off the book with the like closed-minded of like we are just assuming there is one of each. We need to figure out why they're all dying because we only have one of each. And what if like something happened with a pregnant cryptid, that like some pheromone was released and somebody found out how to weaponize it.
Yeah.
And that was the problem.
Yeah.
And some people didn't even know to look there.
Because they didn't know that it was something that could be passed down or
they didn't even know it was like an option.
Yeah.
And also like the agency who hired her definitely want to weaponize it. They're not trying to fix anything. They definitely
well, and that would be obviously another like arc, or could be the main problem would be that the girl is working for an organization that doesn't care for the cryptids like she does, and that's why she ends up having to go into the field. Yeah, she can't stay in her office and just have them bring them to her, because
it could be a man versus self too, because they are demanding her to like do something that could harm them.
That she's
like, but I don't want to harm this person or this thing. I just want to help it.
And they can be the closed-minded people that see them as straight up monsters, like one and only, a problem, and she's the one that gets personified. Like maybe she gets, you know, someone that's deceased that's a cryptid, and that person's like family member or something comes, and she realizes that they have families and societies, and they are an actual group, and she's the only one that realizes it. And even when she tries to tell the other people, they don't care, you know, they want to weaponize it, they're for the money now and whatever, and they want to try to kill said family member or whatever. Yeah.
I think every time I have an idea while she's explaining hers, I like my eyes get wide and I just stare at her. And
it's okay. I just ignore him and keep going.
Yeah, which is the best scenario. But so what if, as a big conflict of like, what do I do here, right? They found a new species of cryptid. Yeah. But they have noticed that when the cryptid dies, they transform back into a human. So this is a special cryptid where they transform under certain conditions, and when they die, their like body factory resets and goes back to a human. So the illness is killing the creature, and as far as we know in the book, there is nothing we can do to save him. We can't take him out of his misery or her or whatever, because if it dies, then we can't learn anything from it. So they just give it to her, and they go figure it out.
Alive.
Exactly. And he or she or it is clearly in pain. It clearly doesn't want to be there. Maybe it can speak, and it's begging for help.
Yeah, it's literally a captive now.
And she just has to learn from it.
Yeah, decide what she's going to do.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
I'd be very interested, because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What is she going to do?
Yeah.
It'd be a really big character development thing.
Yeah, it would, because, I mean, it could be towards the beginning where she's all about science and she just wants to learn, and she realizes that they are actual living, breathing creatures that have their own emotions and things like that. And she has to decide, you know, if she cares more about learning about them or if she's going to try to save it or whatever, you know. But also, it's hard, too, because the more she learns about the creature while it's alive and suffering might allow them to have a cure to save the rest of that creature's family or something like that. If the family were to
Bigger
get
picture.
the illness, So does she take that route, or does she just take it out of its misery? Does she talk to the creature? Does the creature help her decide, maybe?
Maybe she learned. Maybe you can carry on its legacy by learning something that like helps her save the day at the end of the book.
Yeah.
Like they pass on, but like it's because of them and their sacrifice that she was able to fix it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I also think it'd be cool too, because like that can be how she introduces herself into the world of the supernatural.
Yeah.
Right, but like there's so much you can do with that.
Mm-hmm.
That it doesn't have to be a one hit wonder.
No, not at all. You can go on that. That's one of those things that I feel like you can drag the story on for so long that you'd have to.
That's what's
you'd have to
scary.
come up with an ending, that no one knows about, and have that set from the beginning. Otherwise, you'll turn into a Supernatural with 18 seasons or whatever. Because it is. When you have a cop show type thing, you can literally just drag it on as long as you want. As long as there's more cases, as long as you just keep repeating the same thing.
It's just a formula that people love. It's just like drugs.
Yeah, but...
Sorry, my computer went off. I want to make sure we're still recording. I think we're good.
Yeah. But in reality, I think you get a big overarching plot that has a concise beginning and ending. You have a bunch of stuff going on between, and when you get to that ending that you decided forever ago, that's where you stop, and you don't drag it out and push it on.
Absolutely. You don't want a whole... Well, of course, there's always going to be other things involved. Like if you're making money and your publishers are making money, and like you have like investors, if it gets like huge in a franchise, people are always going to want you to keep doing it, so they just keep earning money. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the story. So just don't kill it for greed.
Yeah.
And end of that message.
Yeah.
That's our message for our story today.
There you go.
Money sucks, but
bye.
we need it. That's just where we ended. I just cut myself off. But no, I think it would be super interesting. Another thing I wanted to point out before we leave is that I feel like delving into the anatomy of the supernatural isn't very widely like an opportunity that's taken.
Yes, it would be very cool. Okay, so I started like teaching myself some anatomy things for
no big deal or anything.
Animals and people in general, because cool. I want to work towards being a creature designer. And
tell them the moose thing after you're done.
Tell them the what?
The moose thing.
That's irrelevant.
I disagree.
Okay.
Continue your story.
So in that process, I out of curiosity, because I Google everything and I am curious about literally everything.
Mm-hmm. I
Googled like the anatomy of some more well-known creatures like mermaids and things like that.
She's very good at Googling, by the way.
Thanks, I try.
Very good.
And there are things about the, obviously the popular creatures like mermaids, centaurs, things like that. People made like skeletons of them, and obviously it's their own interpretations and stuff like that. And everyone does mermaids differently, so it would always be different. But if you took this book and you did a wide variety of the well-known creatures and the not well-known creatures, and obviously it would be whoever's interpretation, whoever came up with the creatures' anatomy and physiology and all of that, but at the same time it would just be a really cool side to creatures that people haven't really delved into. Because when people build creatures for movies, Star Wars, all of those things, they think about the anatomy and the way that things work, and that's how they're able to animate it and CGI and do all these things to make it realistic. But that's not the part that we see. And if you're not going to be a creature designer, you're just like, oh, that's a cool monster, and you move on. So doing something like this, it actually outlines and highlights some of those really cool anatomy things and some of those design principles that the people who build the creatures and the monsters consider every time they make them.
You get a lot of appreciation.
Might be really cool, yeah. And then you have those science nerds too. I'm a science nerd. I think I would be super interested in those kinds of things.
Right, just how they decide to explain it.
Exactly, because you'd have to take real world examples from it and stuff
kind
like
of chemicals.
that. Yeah, like it would be real science in an unreal way,
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be a very cool take on a book, movie, show, whatever, because it's an aspect that no one's really delved into, and I think it's because it's so uncertain anyway.
Right.
But
and it's so easy for someone to just be like, no, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's different.
Exactly.
Of course you're not going to like it at first.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Kind of like Spiderwick Chronicles, how they have like a field guide and they have all the fairies and stuff like that in the guide and stuff. It kind of like that, but a more scientific breakdown with an actual professional kind of going through it and stuff like that. It would be very cool.
It would be cool because like she could be using references.
Yeah.
And they could be wrong.
Yeah.
Or maybe not complete.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Or the book could have diagrams and stuff if you want. You could leave the interpretation up to the reader as well. That's of course a personal style choice.
Yeah.
But there's just even though that's just other opportunities you can take, other things you can do.
Yeah.
You don't have to do them. Very cool. Anything else?
No, I think it's just a very cool idea.
I'm very happy with how that went.
Yeah, for creatures that no one's studied at all, like maybe like you have a werewolf or a chupacabra or whatever, and no one studied them, and she doesn't have any frame of reference or whatever, and she has a corpse and she starts looking at it and she realizes a lot of things are similar to dogs.
Yeah.
And she looks at some dog anatomy and some of the chemicals that they have in their body and stuff like that, and are able to figure some stuff out. And then she builds the information herself from what she's learned over time,
I feel like it could be something as simple as like a special case where a wolf got trapped in like a human's body and they think they're trying to fix a werewolf.
Yeah.
And it's not making sense because it's not a werewolf.
Yeah.
That probably won't be applicable to this book, but I'm just saying,
but
like,
still, very cool.
It's very easy to take what we have and just put a little twist on it and to see things you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Or at least haven't gotten bigger, which of course I don't read as much as I probably should. So my world's a little more closeted than Emmy's probably is in the realm of creative writing.
Yes.
But I like a lot of sci-fi movies and stuff. I'm a big movie guy. Shocker, right?
Yeah.
But so that's where I get my creativity from. And I have much more of a... I was going to say I have much more of a overall outcome, but I don't think that's true. I think I have more of a scene by scene.
Oh, gosh, no. Yeah, your brain's a lot more scene by scene. Mine's a lot more big picture. That's always how we've talked through stories and stuff like that. Like, you see how this one random scene in the very middle is going to play out, where for me, I see that, it's going to start this way and end this way, but I'm not really sure how we're going to get through to it,
Middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why we mix so well, though, too, because we can just have that fun of, like, well, what do you want? Well, this is how I would do it. Oh, well, it'd be cool if you did this. And hence the podcast is born.
Yes, because we're geniuses. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, maybe we can, like, find different types of like think tankery. Like I read a story now. Like maybe we can like play a game where like we have like elements of a story, we have to connect them or something.
Yeah.
Like I give you a beginning and a middle and an end, and we're like, well, how would this happen?
I think there's definitely a lot of different ways that we can.
We'll just have to play with it. Get some feedback from our friends and stuff. See how they feel about it.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be for everyone. I think it's going to be one of those things that it's like, oh, that's cool, but I'm not interested in listening to it.
Right, and I don't want a wild fan base.
No.
I want a very close-knit
people
family.
that this will benefit,
Family's a strong word. I don't want to try to be like...
No, but you know what he means.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like, oh, we're all family, buy my products, or you don't love me. No, I'm not trying to be like
not
that.
At all.
But it would just be very cool if we're all very comfortable in, like, sharing ideas. And if we get big enough, I'd love to, like, start a Discord where people can be like, guys, I want to, like...
Hell yeah.
Make a character like this. What do you think? And like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't be stealing ideas. Stealing is wrong. I'll find you and I'll cut your toes off.
And I'll just kill you.
Yeah, she's very much just to the point.
Yeah, well.
But that's what we love about her. Well, you guys probably. But so I am insanely happy about how this one went.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting our ground.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like our first half of the hand sanitizer debate of 22.
I think it really helped you to understand who we are as people.
Yeah, this is how as soon as the mics go off, this is not going to be any different.
No, this is how we talk to each other.
We're probably still going to end up talking about the fiasco that is fiasco. I put an N in that. Bro, I said fiasco at work once. Nobody corrected me.
How dare they?
They just looked at me. And then like 20 minutes later, I was like, oh my God, I said fiasco. Why didn't anybody say anything?
Did they acknowledge?
They were just like, yeah, we heard that. I was like, you got to correct me, man.
I guarantee that all of them in their head was like, wait, did he say that wrong? I'm not sure. I don't want to correct
I won't
him
question it.
I also want to be wrong. Yeah.
It's fiasco, by the way, for those of you that are bothered if they didn't hear it correctly, because that would bother me. If somebody says a word wrong and I don't hear it correctly, I have to whisper it so I can hear it correctly.
That's weird.
That's just how I am. I got it from my mom.
Super weird.
If she hears something interesting, like an interesting, like...
Oh, yeah, it drives me insane.
If someone has like a really cool accent, or if they have like, if they grew up in a different area where they pronounce a word differently and they say it, and my mom loves the way they say it, she just has to repeat it. And a lot of people think she's being
like
mean.
Mocking.
A lot of people think she's just like mocking them.
Yeah.
And she's just this innocent, definitely not old. I would never say that, Mother. I love you. Innocent, not young lady who just is like in her own world.
It's like she's just tasting it on her lips, Like
that's weird, but absolutely correct.
No, it is. It's like she's like, wait, that was weird.
I wanted to experience this.
I need to experience it too. But
and now
like,
I'm having fun.
Jacob does it for like movies and songs and just whatever is going on. And it's fine, but it sounds like if it's something that I really like and he does it, I'm like, oh my God, are you mocking it? Don't mock it. You're making
you get
fun
very
of me.
defensive.
You're hurting me, But in reality, it's just like, this tastes weird.
It's just fun, Because like even when like people are like, when you're in a very dramatic movie scene and somebody's crying and you're not seeing them crying, all you're hearing is and that's hilarious, dude. Are you kidding me? If I'm playing on my phone and I hear I'm like
I hate it. I hate it so much.
And that's just like, it's just, I'm a child. So that's just what
He is definitely a child.
I think I'm done.
I think we're good.
This is super fun. How long do we go today? I might have to cut some things out, but it was 55 minutes.
I mean, we went a lot longer, so you're more than able to cut more things out, which is better, right?
I wouldn't mind if it stayed around an hour.
No, same. I'm just saying when you go through it, if you're like, oh, we really should cut this part out.
That's true.
Whatever. You can.
I hope you guys, I hope you guys had fun listening to this. I am legitimately having a good time.
Yeah.
So even if we have like 2 weekly listeners, I would like to just keep this up.
You'll be our best friends.
That's true. You're the only ones who will know our true identities.
Yeah.
I'm Batman. I would suck as Batman.
You would suck as Batman.
Well, you didn't have to immediately agree to that. You could have been like, no.
You'd be great at Batman.
On that note.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Get the fuck out.
Leave now.
Love you.